Alright guys, today we are going to do some more doodle notes. I hope you guys are having fun with these and enjoying learning this way. If you have questions, you can always email me at sarah.young@mvisd.org or Mr. Queller if you are in Mr. Queller's class at stephen.queller@mvisd.org. Today we're going to be talking about the circulatory system. And the circulatory system is a very important system that is based around getting things through the body, and it functions using a few parts that we are going to talk about today. The first part that we are going to talk about is the heart, right? We know that the heart pumps, and you can feel your chest, you can feel your heart beating, you can feel your pulse in certain areas of your body on large arteries, and we are going to talk about what the heart does for your body. The heart, first of all, is a muscular pump. It circulates blood throughout the body, and circulates just means it moves it around, right? It goes in a circuit, right? It moves in a circular pattern. The heart pumps the blood that not only carries materials like oxygen, which all of our body cells need to go through cellular respiration, right? And glucose, what else we need to go through cellular respiration, that are vital for body functions, but it also helps us get rid of waste. Think about things like carbon dioxide. And things that would be otherwise harmful, right? Lactic acid, if you've ever had a muscle that you've overworked, lactic acid can build up in your muscles, and blood helps take it away, right? So all of the things that need to be circulated in our body are circulated by our blood. It is a liquid tissue made up of lots of blood cells, right? The heart is composed of 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. These atria are entry points for blood to come into the heart, and ventricles are how they exit. And the reason we have 2 is because some of your body's blood comes into the right atrium and gets moved to the left ventricle by a little valve, or the right ventricle through the little valve, and from that ventricle it goes to your lungs, and then it comes back into your left ventricle, or left atria, that holding area, and gets pumped out through your left ventricle. This is your muscles, right? Ventricles have large muscles. Your ventricles do. Okay? So in our heart, right, if we split it up into 4 sections, you have a right atrium, right ventricle, a left atrium, and a left ventricle. And the left ventricle is the one responsible for pushing blood throughout your whole body. Okay? So let's talk about the large blood vessels in the body, and I'm going to use 2 different shades of red. One is a purpley red and one is a red, and that is because a lot of students have a misunderstanding that you have blue blood, because you've seen diagrams like this where you have red and blue blood, but you don't have blue blood. Blood is not blue. It's never been blue. It's not blue before it's exposed to oxygen. Guess what? Your blood cells carry oxygen, so they're always exposed to oxygen. So blood in your body is always red. Now, there are varying shades of red depending on if that blood is oxygenated, right, carrying oxygen, or if it's deoxygenated. It's already dropped off oxygen and now it's carrying back waste products, right? And so sometimes there's a darker color to that deoxygenated blood. So we're going to use my purple color to represent deoxygenated blood in our veins. And we're going to use red to represent oxygenated blood in our arteries. And I'm going to label red, oxygenated, right? It contains oxygen. So arteries are blood vessels that transport oxygen-rich blood. Oxygen, right? It carries oxygen away. Arteries carry blood away from the heart to different regions of the body because all the cells in your body need that oxygen to go through cellular respiration. The largest artery in your body is called the aorta, and it is attached to the top of your heart in a little arch like this. It passes over the heart from its left ventricle, remember there's two of those, and runs down the center of your body in front of your spinal cord or spine, your backbone. Okay, let me slide that up a little. Okay, so arteries are blood vessels that transport oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, right? A for artery, A for away. The aorta is the largest artery in the body. It passes over the heart in that little loop from its left ventricle and runs down the center of the body, right, in front of your spine. So it goes behind your heart and runs all the way down your body. Okay, so I'm going to use this bright red to color in some of the arteries. I'm going to color my heart red in the body. So if you would like to do that, you can do it too. So everywhere where these are connected, we've got large arteries that run all over our body. Okay, and it goes down from the heart, right? And we're using that bright red to identify all of these large arteries. And arteries are pretty big. In fact, your aorta is about the thickness of your thumb. So hold that out in front of you. That is a pretty large passageway for blood. And so people, when your heart rate goes up, your blood pumps faster, right, through your body to give more oxygen to your cells. And when you're kind of lazy, like we have been, being stuck at home, it's not as much activity in our life, that blood needs some pumping. So you need to get up and move so you can get your oxygen to all your body cells. Okay, so arteries, we used red. Okay, so now we're going to use our purpley red up here for veins, because veins are just as large, just as important, but they are blood vessels that transport blood from various regions of the body back towards the heart. Okay, one example is the largest vein in your body, the superior, which means it's above the heart, vena cava or cava, depending on where you're from. It carries deoxygenated, right? Oxygen has been removed. Deoxygenated blood, blood that does not have oxygen, so it's a purpley color, from the upper half of the body to the heart's right atrium. And remember that atrium is kind of that holding area before it goes into the ventricles. The ventricles pump it places. The right ventricle sends blood to the lungs, right, to get oxygen. And then it goes back into the left ventricle from the lungs to go into the left ventricle, which pumps it to the body. And it comes into the right atrium from the body. Okay, so all of that happens constantly. And if you've noticed and you've ever really paid attention to your blood or your heartbeat, it goes lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. That's because there's two ventricles contracting, and you are hearing the whoosh of that contraction and the pushing of the blood through your body. So I'm going to shade in the veins, my purpley pink color, to show that they are deoxygenated, right? The oxygen has been dropped off to your body's cells so that your cells in your body can go through cellular respiration. Remember, we talked about that before we got out of school. Cellular respiration is how all of your cells in your body are able to get energy, right? Change the glucose that we eat into energy that it can use in the body to grow your cells and to do what they need to do. So all through our body we have these large veins which carry that deoxygenated blood back to the heart. Okay, so we're using our pinkish color here, and this is deoxygenated. Okay, now capillaries are really where the magic happens. Capillaries are super important, and this is actually where the exchange happens in your body between the blood and the cells and tissues that are going to use the nutrients and oxygen that are being carried in the blood. The capillaries are extremely small, very, very thin blood vessels. In fact, the capillaries in your lungs are so tiny that only one cell can pass through at a time. Isn't that crazy? They're found throughout your entire body. They deliver nutrients like glucose and different vitamins and oxygen. That's the important part, right? Oxygen, that's what keeps you alive, to tissues, and then they remove those waste products like carbon dioxide, right? That's produced during cellular processes. This is cellular respiration. And so if you think back to our formula for cellular respiration, we know it needs oxygen and glucose, and it produces carbon dioxide and water. So those are very, very important for that exchange, right? Capillaries make exchanging possible. They're out with the old and in with the new, right? And so those capillaries are these really tiny ones here, right? These really tiny ones. And you have them all over your body, right? You have them on your scalp. You have them in your hands. You have them in your feet. You have them everywhere. So I hope that that helps you understand a little bit how the circulatory system works. The circulatory system works very, very closely with your respiratory system to help get that oxygen to your cells and help carry away that carbon dioxide as a waste product. So we'll talk about the respiratory system next time.